finishing up a little bit of editing on yesterday's vlog this morning before I take my son to school. Woohoo! So it's currently uploading now, and it will be available a little bit later this afternoon. Have a good day.
All right, welcome back. Today's topic is going to be something that I get asked about a lot, whether it's on Twitter or email or in person. And that is simply, what is the difference between personal brands and personal branding? I'm guilty of this at times, but a lot of people use the two terms interchangeably. However, I like to think of them as two separate things. And I think you'll understand why once I've explained it. So let me start with a personal brand. A personal brand is simply you. It's a combination of your skills, your traits, your values. It's everything that comes together to make you, you. So the perception that others may have about you, that is all a part of your personal brand. There's a famous quote by the CEO of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, that your personal brand is what others say about you when you're not in the room. And if you stop and you really think about it, what that means is it's a combination of your skills, your traits, your values. All of those are displayed by you every day in your interactions with other people. And those other people take all of those things and they form a perception of you. And that perception is what they carry around with them when you're not in the room. Now, the reason that's important from a career standpoint is because what people think about you can really make the difference between whether you get opportunities that come your way or not. And so your personal brand plays a big role in that. And if you're still struggling with this, take this example for instance. Let's assume for a minute that you're sitting in a conference room with a bunch of your peers, and you're all talking about a project or something that you're working on within the four walls of your office, and all of a sudden during the middle of the discussion, the door opens and a senior leader sits down at the table. What happens to the mood, if you will, of that room? Does it stay the same, or does it get a lot more serious? Regardless of the outcome, what has happened to that meeting and the atmosphere of that room is the personal brand of the leader who came in and sit down. Now, take that same exact scenario. This time it's your peers sitting around a conference room table talking about a project or whatever it happens to be. This time when the door opens, you walk in. What happens to the atmosphere of that room now? Does it stay the same or does it change? Knowing the answer to that question requires you to become self-aware. And once you become self-aware, you will begin to understand what your personal brand is in the eyes of others and you as well. Now, your personal brand is also understanding the value that you add in the workplace. And you know this by taking a deep dive look at yourself. And we're going to talk about self-awareness here in another couple of vlogs. But for now, know that your personal brand is simply you. It's your values, it's your skills, it's your traits, it's everything that goes into making you, you. So now on the flip side of that is personal branding. And I define personal branding as the intentional act of telling the world who you are and how you add value. Now, the biggest difference between a personal brand and a personal branding is the single word intentional. And that intentionality of building your brand in a specific way, hopefully in a way that gets you found and noticed. Now, in order to be intentional about your personal branding, you first have to know and understand what it is that you want to become known for. What's important is whether or not people know you for something. And the only way they can do that is if you have been intentionally working to build your brand so that people will start to know you for what you know. Now, taking this a step further, you can do personal branding offline simply by the way you act, the way you talk, the way you dress, the things that you discuss, and your actions and activities, all within the scope of your career. Fortunately for us now, as job seekers, as career professionals, we can actually take it a step further and we can begin to develop our digital brands. And our digital brands are reflective of our personal branding online. So basically, we take our personal brand, we conduct intentional personal branding, but we do it online in a way that will get us found and get us recognized for what we want to become known for. And we can do this in several ways, but the single best way to do this is through having your own website. And we'll talk more about that later. But having your website gives you a place online that you can control, a place that you own, a place that you don't have to worry about the company shutting down on you and taking all of your data and information with them, like what happened recently with a company called Branded.me. When it comes to digital branding, I think way too many of us are not intentional about what we put online. In fact, in a lot of cases, we probably don't even think about the ramifications of what we put online or how what we put online can be perceived by others. And that's a really important part of building your brand online. And once you decide what you want to become known for, you need to be that everywhere, both online and offline. So we'll get into this a little bit more in later vlogs, but for now, for today, your takeaway is your personal brand is you. It's everything that goes into making you you. It's your skills, it's your traits, it's your values. And personal branding is simply the intentional act of telling the world who you are and how you add value. And we can take that a step further by being intentional in building a digital brand that's reflective of what we want to become known for. So now that you know, as you set about your day, what I want you to do is stop and ask yourself, are you creating the brand for yourself that you want? Are you taking the actions and engaging in the activities that will help people understand what you want to become known for? In fact, I challenge you, take a few minutes and just ask yourself, what do you want to become known for? If you could start your career all over again, what would you do? And what would you want people to say about you when you're not in the room? And with that, we'll say today's vlog is done.